And if you take the steps to get the real fire certification, to your point, there's no quote unquote discount for that yet, but I've seen it get quotes approved that have otherwise been denied. And that goes for a single family home. I was actually in my personal HOA, I was talking to our master policy agent, and they're requesting any tree or any plant within 15 feet of the building be removed. And then she had stated that if we get certified, which we did, and we send it in, they'll oftentimes will waive that just because we've taken all these other steps. That's really important for your clients who go under contract. You got to get them on the insurance right away, just because it's not so much I type something into a computer and 10 minutes later I have a rate. It's I'm calling an underwriter, we're talking about that specific property and what the seller may have done, or what whoever's trying to purchase the property may have done. And they definitely take that into consideration a lot more now. When you're looking at, let's say, like an HOA, like single tree, the important thing there is, you could have done the mitigation, but the neighbors on all the other sides of you have not, which can still be a negative thing for you. So it's important to get kind of involved in the community level, or at least your HOA level, and try to get the whole HOA involed in the mitigation.
Well, for anybody in the room who's a realtor, you're probably familiar with one of our, we've had this initiative for probably going on, I don't know, 10 to 15 years at this point, but Colorado Project Wildfire, which is kind of our education and resource arm through the Colorado Association of Realtors. And it's really focused on education surrounding mitigation, education surrounding available resources to help with mitigation, to obtain property insurance. And it's actually a pretty robust website that we maintain, full of resources that you can find at Colorado Project Wildfire. And it's a great resource for your buyers as you guys are working with clients to kind of point them there as kind of a threshold FAQ almost for some of the stuff that they're going to be engaging with on the insurance side. Honestly, for a buyer, when they can't get insurance or they can't afford the insurance that they're being offered, they often will end up forfeiting their earnest money deposits because they've missed their contractual contingency to consider insurance providers. They haven't paid enough attention to that in this sort of false assumption that it would just be there and available for them. And then they get just 2 days before closing, they maybe have their loan availability deadline left, and they end up realizing that insurance is going to change their ability or willingness to close. And then they try and use a loan availability deadline to get out of the contract, and that is specifically not for property insurance. And so there's a real missing piece, I think, of education that buyer brokers need to be giving to their clients when they're in that process. And then the flip side of things we talked a little bit about is the listing broker side. I'm seeing a lot more of folks, listing brokers who are checking in to inquire where their sellers will make some agreement during the course of a contract period to replace the roof. And they had a hailstorm, the buyer identifies that there's been significant hail damage, and they just agree to replace the roof. And they sign an amendment to the contract to that effect, and then when they go to actually submit it for an adjustment, they realize that they've got a policy that has changed dramatically. Now it's this cash value policy rather than a replacement cost value, which has been the standard roof policy for generations, really. And a lot more situations now where sellers are making this contractual commitment, and I'm hearing them from the listing broker side who are calling and saying, hey, is there a way that we can get out of this, my seller can get out of this contract? Because now the benefit that they thought they were getting, to just pay a deductible to have their roof replaced on behalf of the buyer is now, a much, much smaller percentage of the actual cost.